That's a good range. Actually, none of you mentioned what I study, which is a very, very narrow area of ancient writing, but specifically manuscript, handwriting. So my university study started very broad, archaeology and anthropology and sociology. We had 1 year to cover everything. For me, it was strange because I wanted to do Egyptology, but in my university in the first year, you had to do a very broad subject. And in one way I didn't like it. I really wanted just to do Egypt. I had a very clear idea. I want to study Egypt. So it was a little bit difficult. But I thought I will like the archaeology because it's Egyptian archaeology is a part of this. But it didn't really happen that way. So I thought I would like the archaeology, not so much the anthropology, and I wasn't interested in sociology, but I had to do the courses. And it was completely the other way around. So I really appreciated. The archaeology in the first year was not about practice. That's why I ask about field work. If you do archaeological field work, you learn techniques, you're trained to do specific things. But they only have meaning with theory, so you have to start with a big question: why? Why should we study? So in cultural heritage here, it means theory. It means do we even have the permission to study? Is there any legitimacy in archaeology? So, and then theory of archaeology, how do we study society in ancient period? So in this institute, they're very separate. You could come to UCL, you could do an MA in cultural heritage, which might be just memory studies. It might be something very different to museum studies, collections, which is about management, site management. It's all very divided, one thing for another. And what I found my first year, the archaeology theory, because I didn't do the fieldwork practice, it was difficult to connect it with what I wanted to do with Egyptology. The anthropology theory and the sociology theory, which I didn't really want to do, but I had very good teachers. It was really inspiring. And they gave me a lot of ideas which I still use. So I think when you're in university studies, the earlier part is really important to explore the different libraries. In this institute, you saw the library upstairs. So we're kind of separate. When you go to the Petrie Museum, it's already a long way away. It's like Salerno. It's just as far away as, it's a different planet, completely. So you have to make that interplanetary journey. You have to do some space travel when you study at university, because it's really easy to narrow yourself down. And my last 25 years, I worked mainly in museum. The thing I loved about the museum was you have the collection there, you can ask your questions, but it's a collection. Someone else collected it. It's not like making your own data set. So the collection asks you questions, and then anyone can come through the door, the whole public, specialists, people who are just interested in general, people who have a general interest. They're not academics, but they know how to make things. Carpenters, metal workers, jewelers, and they ask you questions you never thought of asking. And your mind is really made broader this way. So what I try here, but it's never possible in university time, and you have to choose what you want to do. I try to tell students to go to the other libraries. Absolutely minimum, or if you're only in one library, to go to parts you don't normally go to. So I was doing Egyptology. To go away from Egypt, to go to other parts of Africa, or to go away from archaeology, to go to sociology, and sometimes just to explore, completely random, completely. I think the most exciting thing in research is to find not to find the answer, to find new question. And so I really enjoyed that in my university. After 1 year, I didn't continue with anthropology, but it gave me a lot of ideas. If you want to go on another excavation, higher level, you have to have a skill. Drawing, archaeological photography, GIS, all these real skills. If you've done a course, and then you write to an excavation director and you say, I would like to join your excavation, then they're more interested if you have a skill, obviously, or if you have publication. The other thing they don't tell you here when you study, every year you have more experience, you have more study, but the competition becomes more strong. And sometimes our students, if you go through to do a PhD afterwards, I don't know how many of you want to do PhD, but if you do a PhD, by the time you finish, other students at that level, they will already have 1 or 2 articles, just small things. And then you go to postdoctoral level, and then the other students, and they're your competition when you apply for a scholarship or for a job, finally. In my university, they never told us how important that was. There's a big cultural difference between England and Germany, where they have a tradition in Germany, in Egyptology, publish or die. You know, it goes back to the 18th century, publish or die. As soon as you had printing, you have to publish. And it's good because publishing is a way to share your ideas and to receive feedback. But it's hard because nobody tells you how to do it. You only do it by practice. So I had 6 years of study, and then I had a PhD. And then I started to write articles. But it's a way to share knowledge, and also it gives you, if they're good articles, it gives you a long bibliography when you apply to go on excavation or to have a scholarship. Was in Berlin, and yeah, it was a completely different culture. It was really about sharing knowledge, high quality work, and share it. You know, you publish it so that everyone else knows about it, and then you receive. Of course, you receive the bad criticism as well as the good criticism. It's science. It's normal. It's a scientific discipline. You need to bring a lot of time from the library, reading, so that you know your stuff. You must really know your material, and eventually publications, because that's proof that you know your stuff. And then to find the money becomes easier. And the way you find the money, this is why, last thing to say, I go back to the thing about the library, to going to the hidden, the foreign part of the library, the bit where you don't normally go. You need originality. So now, to apply, the further up you go, it's true, you can get funding for big positivist projects where you collect data. We need still to do it. In archaeology, we need collections of data. But you have new opportunities of how you record because of new technology. You have new opportunities for communicating. Persuade someone outside archaeology that what I'm doing is exciting. So take your experience, and that means your time in the library, and your chance for connecting, and look for these original ideas. And usually the original idea is the thing that is most exciting to you.